Jay Barron, of course, is the CEO of the Center for Automotive Research, and here we are, Jay, just about wrapping up day one of the management briefing seminars. You've been in on a lot of these sessions right now. What are some of the key takeaways?
Well, we've started Monday morning for 49 straight years here at Traverse City with world-class manufacturing. So we did it again today, and we had some great leaders of manufacturing kick it off. So, there's a lot of discussion around manufacturing, innovation, high technology, a lot of automation in the factories, more robots than we've ever seen before, and the need for high-skilled labor. That was probably one of the most common themes. I think every speaker in the manufacturing session brought up the fact that we're having trouble finding skilled labor with the skill sets that we need, a lot of job openings, yet we still have high unemployment. There's a mismatch between what's out there and what we need. So that was a big issue. Factories are getting much more sophisticated, and we need more sophisticated workers to sustain and maintain these factories. So that was probably the number one common theme. Then we got into things like innovation and how do you introduce innovation when we've been standardizing parts in factories. Now we try to innovate, and as Kathy Clegg said, that's a messy and disruptive process to introduce innovation experimentally. So how do we do that? So we explained or had a discussion around that as well.
That's a very interesting point. Kathy Clegg, of course, is the head of manufacturing for General Motors. You want innovation, and yet in manufacturing, it's all about line them up, keep the process standard, repeat. How do you get innovative in manufacturing?
We used to always say, in manufacturing, you're always after consistency. And you're better off to be consistently wrong than sometimes right and sometimes wrong. Consistency is what's important. Because once you start doing it consistently, then you can make tweaks to the system somewhere in the process to fix it. Well, anyway, in terms of how to introduce innovation, you can't do it live. It's not intended to be done live. You've got to have off-site, you've got to have development centers, training centers, and a lot of these wonderful facilities in North America have their own development training centers close by to the manufacturing plant. They have classes, they have equipment, they simulate what's going on in the environment, but that's where it's done.
Okay, we talked about the people needs. What was some of the technology talked about that stood out for you?
I'll tell you, the technology is what really gets me excited. you look at all of the laser technology, as you and I were talking about, the laser scanning, not just of the car. We've been doing laser scanning of the car to get the dimensions and to make sure the metrology of the whole vehicle is right. Now they're laser scanning entire factories to simulate that and bring it back so that you can be designing what goes into the factory here, even though the factory might be in another country or something like that. And you can literally do a 3D walkthrough on a screen of these factories. So there's the simulation technology. We did a lot of discussion today around lightweighting materials, and when you start getting into new technologies, that's driving a lot of new technology, particularly in the how do you tool these parts and how do you form them. Instead of just cold stamping, now there's hot stamping, there's hot forming for aluminum, extrusions, a lot more composites. It's changing the way you fabricate these parts. So the tooling industry is affected, the designers are affected on how they engineer and design the structure of these parts, the fabricators are affected, and then the discussion we just had, most people believe that the direction is a mixed material car. We're going to have all these materials in it, and that raises all kinds of challenges for joining. So the traditional car was always spot welded, 4,000 spot welds in a car. Now it's glued, it's riveted, it's crimped, all kinds of technologies that are brought to bear. So a lot going on and a lot of opportunities for innovation.
Real good. Jay, thanks so much for this little recap of what's been going on today.
Great, very exciting time.
Be sure to tune in for more of Autoline.tv for updates from the management briefing seminars. You already know that you can listen to Autoline's Industry Insight in places like YouTube and Stitcher, but did you know that you can also listen to it live in your car? It's simple. Just pair your smartphone with your vehicle's Bluetooth connection or plug into the aux jack. Then navigate to Autoline.tv using your phone's browser. Find the show you want to hear and click play, just like you would on your computer.
This is Autoline After Hours with John McElroy.
It's that easy. Never be disconnected from Autoline's top-notch insider information with Autoline on the go.